Who are the UFC's most hated fighters on the roster? The most hated active fighters on the roster. We're going to get into it, boys. I'm Yap MMA. We're back with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about the most hated UFC fighters, the most hated active UFC fighters on the roster. There are a multitude of fighters on the UFC roster. We know there's hundreds and hundreds of fighters on the UFC roster. I don't know if hundreds and hundreds. I don't even know the exact amount of fighters. If anybody knows that, comment it down in the comment section down below. But there are a lot of UFC fighters on the roster. Some that you're like, holy shit, I forgot they were in the UFC. We see a lot of guys in the Apex. The ones that are getting put on pay-per-views, the fun fighters. But there are also a multitude of hated fighters just by the community, by the MMA community. The MMA community is probably one of, if not the most picky, precise. Just anything that goes wrong, they just love to pull it out. Pull out that thing and just make it big and make it the most notable thing, even if it's just a little detail. So I'm gonna dive into some of the most hated fighters, man. This past weekend we had UFC 314, and one of the most hated fighters was on that card, and that man is Michael Chandler. Iron Michael Chandler, man. Iron Michael Chandler has been around the UFC for a solid amount of years, at least 5 years, I believe now. Came in from Bellator. He was a Bellator champ and came into the UFC, already got given a prospect and already got given a ranked opponent, Dan Hooker, put him right into the mix, right? And then we saw him go on then we saw him fight Oliveira, got knocked out by Oliveira. Then I believe he lost to Justin Gaethje. Then he fought Tony Ferguson, beat Tony Ferguson. He's just been in the mix for a long time, and a huge reason why people hate him is because of his Dana White privilege. It's just a fact. He admitted it. Dana White privilege. Thank you, Dana, for that Dana White privilege. He's admitted it, but that privilege has led to him being in every single title conversation, every single title challenger bout, where, if he were to beat Patty this past weekend, man, they would have put him right back in the mix. They would have given him Armin. They would have given him Islam, like anything, right? This dude came off of a 2-year layoff, waiting for Conor McGregor after coming off of a loss. I believe he was coming off the loss to, was it Dustin Poirier he was coming off the loss to? He lost to Dustin Poirier, yeah, by submission. Got subbed by, he loses to the best BJJ artist. Charles Oliveira gets knocked out by him, and then goes the distance with Charles Oliveira as well. Gets knocked out by Paddy Pimblett this past weekend, but he gets submitted by Dustin Poirier and goes the distance with the hardest hitting 155er Justin Gaethje. He just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. His only 2 wins in the UFC are Dan Hooker, which was, I believe that was in the Apex, or it was during COVID. So he got a nice knockout. That was a nice flashy knockout, but put him right in the mix. He fought just dogs, the best of the best since then, and it proved that he's not the best of the best. He's not ready for that caliber, and people hate him for that because he doesn't deserve to be in the limelight. He doesn't deserve to be in the spotlight. He's finally tanking in the rankings. He's finally going down. This guy's almost 40 years old. He should not be fighting the best of the best at lightweight. People are aging, but little do people know that he's actually 39 years old. His birthday's in like a week, I believe. I think his birthday's in a week. He's turning 39 years old. At lightweight, you're not in the mix anymore. You're not challenging for the belt anytime soon. Iron Michael Chandler's career is basically over. It was kind of sad the way he brutally got beat down by Paddy Pimblett, but man, he's just not that caliber. He's not that caliber, so people hate him. He's the first person on my list of people that are just hated in the UFC, and it's for understandable reason too. It's not just him. Like, his personality seems good, but he just seems fake. He seems fake. He acts completely different to the way that he speaks. He tries to make it fun. He tries to be lighthearted. And then when he's in the cage, he's an absolute cheater as well. That's another reason people hate him. Cheated against Oliveira. 20 unanswered back of the head shots. Tried to grab inside of Dustin Poirier's mouth, pull his mouth up to get a rear naked choke in their fight. Luckily Poirier bit down on his hand, which is nice, but he's cheated in a lot of his fights. He eye poked Justin Gaethje. He eye poked Charles Oliveira in their last fight. A lot of illegal moves. He tried to pull some stuff against Paddy, wasn't really able to do any of that, but just nonstop cheating in the octagon. He admitted to cheating. I mean, Paddy said, if you're not cheating, you ain't trying, but just shitty cheating. A lot of people hate Michael Chandler. I hate Michael Chandler, but, I'm glad to see his downfall. I'm going to be honest. I'm glad to see his downfall, and I can't believe the amount of people that have rooted for him still. There's not many people who like Chandler, but there's a decent few Americans that still fuck with Chandler. I don't get it, but Hey man, he's one of those hated dudes. But we're gonna move on. I shouldn't have stayed on Michael Chandler for so long. He was the main reason I was making this video. I was like, holy shit, I hate Chandler, but thank God he got beat down this past weekend. But we're gonna keep the ball rolling with another guy who's pretty hated, man, and that's gonna be Aljamain Sterling. This dude has been hated ever since the Petr Yan fight. He got so much hate for the way that he quit in that fight. Made Petr Yan get disqualified for that illegal knee. Didn't get back up. He was crying on the floor, wailing around. So since then, I think Aljo lost his entire fan base after that. Just a constant amount of hate. Now people look at Aljo and they're like, oh, that's just Marab's buddy. That's just, he literally makes memes of Sean O'Malley after getting knocked out by Sean O'Malley. And just because Sean O'Malley's going to be fighting Marab. But Sterling got knocked out cold. So, kind of weird situation. A lot of people hate Sterling. I don't really know anybody that's like, okay, I like Aljamain Sterling as a fighter. Don't know anybody because Sterling's not very fun. He wasn't a great champion. Was a champ for a little bit, but did he defend the belt too many times? He wasn't really entertaining. Didn't have any flashy, amazing moments. Like when I think back more about. I know you're gonna make me. I'm gonna make myself sound like a casual man. I think back more about when Sterling wasn't champ than when Sterling was champ. Like I kind of just, that whole Sterling champion phase just completely vanished in my mind. It vanished in a lot of people's minds. Nobody really looks at Aljamain Sterling as, oh, he was one of the best bantamweights of all time. Now he's at featherweight. Hasn't had too much luck. Had a fun fight with Movzar. He's having some fun fights, but he wasn't a good champion. He got a lot of hate after that Petr Yan fight. I think he still gets a lot of hate, and now he's just being a clown on the internet with Merab. I get it. Merab's funny. He is the champ. He's the best bantamweight of all time, but you can't rely on your buddy to be good. You know what I mean? You can't rely on your buddy to have all the fame and have the whole crowd behind you, because a lot of people hated Merab before he got people's respect. He only recently got people's respect. Merab's no longer on the hate list. All right, he got a lot of people's respect after the Umar fight. And he's really fun on the internet, but Sterling, man, he's always trying to make something happen on the internet, but he doesn't have shit going for him in the UFC anymore. I don't know who Sterling can be matched up against and really get that hate away from him, get the MMA community to love him again. I don't see it happening, but we'll move on to the next guy who's got a lot of hate. And this one, man, this one's a no-brainer. Jon freaking Jones Bones. I don't care how big of a Jon Jones glazer you are, or whoever it is, man. I do not care. He's a ducking Tom Aspinall, clear as day. I know Tom's been annoying with the flashing the duck and stuff, but it's true. Jon Jones is the undisputed heavyweight champ. He's been the champ for almost I think he's been the champ for 3 years now. 3 years he's defended once. Beat Cyril Gane in like a minute by submission. Took a 1.5 year layoff, 2 year layoff. Comes back, beats an old 41-year-old, a 41-year-old Stipe Miocic, and now he's just like, man, I might hang it up. I might hang it up. I'll see what happens. Or he's asking for $40 million, $50 million for a fight with Tom Aspinall. I'm praying that the UFC forks out that money because we need to see that fight. Look, I think Jon can win that fight. He's one of the best fighters of all time. If it weren't for all the PED and shit, all the wife beating, all those allegations, that's just a huge part of why he's hated. But I mean, if it wasn't for all that, he would be the best of all time. But you can't avoid all that shit, because what I just said there is like a bunch of people hate that, obviously. I mean, first of all, the abuse towards his wife, the drunk driving, the amount of allegations there's been on him, plus the PED cheats. Like, he didn't even win some of his fights fair and square. Like, you just can't say he's the GOAT, okay? People are still going to call him the GOAT, of course, but he's got a lot of hate. I'm glad he's got a lot of hate. And a lot of that hate mainly comes from the fact that he's ducking Tom Aspinall, and not even all the other things I mentioned. But you package that all together into one big, pile here, and we got ourselves a beautiful amount of hate from the MMA community. And I think we need to build all that hate up until we can get that fight. Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones, 2025. We need to see that fight. If that fight is booked, we'll remove a little bit of hate from Jon Jones. But for now, man, I think he's one of the most hated guys. I think he should be one of the most hated guys. It's fair. He's ducking as the champion. He's ducking. He made the interim champ defend his belt, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It's blasphemous, bro. It's ridiculous. I just use the word blasphemous. It's ridiculous. But I'm going to stop the rant on Jon Jones. We're going to move on to the next dude who's got so much hate as well. Mario Bautista, man. I mean, do I really have to say much? If you haven't watched the Bautista versus Jose Aldo fight, you need to watch that fight. Oh my goodness. This is not clinch up against the fence, hug up against the fence. This is MMA. This is the UFC. This is the ultimate fighting championship of the world. You know, there's a huge reason this guy's got a lot of hate. First of all, you completely defy a guy's a legend of the sport. You completely rob him. You completely rob him by hugging against the cage. At least all those past fights, he's fought people who have been, willing to either stand and shoot with it and strike with him, or have actually tried to shoot a takedown. Bautista wasn't even trying to shoot a takedown. He was just hugging up against the fence. Herb Dean separated them, and he went right back to it. He went right back to it. And he won a split decision against a legend of the sport. You could say judges robbed, but it was also a fact of that just Bautista did not want to strike with him, did not want to fight. That is not a fight, clinching against the fence. So the amount of hate that he's just built up after that fight, I mean, I don't see him going into his next fight, whatever it is. He was supposed to fight Cheeto. I was praying that Cheeto would head kick, knock him out, but we're not. It doesn't look like we're going to see that fight. Maybe they'll rebook it, but whatever fight Mario Bautista goes into next, if it is a live crowd, I don't think it should be a live crowd. He will get clowned. He will get clowned. I don't see a scenario where Mario ever comes back from that absolute disgusting performance against Jose Aldo. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I think he's going to become one of the most hated people in the UFC. I think everybody's going to be praying on his downfall. I'm sorry. Besides his training partners, besides his friends and his family, everybody, the entire MMA community prays on Mario Bautista's downfall. And I'm saying that as a decent hardcore, okay? I'm not going to call myself a hardcore, but hardcore, what am I saying? Hardcore, but a decent hardcore, okay? Mario is not coming back, boys. He is cooked. He is hated. We hate him. I'm speaking for the behalf of the MMA community. We hate Mario Bautista, man. But that moves me on to my next guy that is super hated, Sean freaking Strickland. I mean, there's a surprising amount of people that actually like Strickland, but how many people really like Strickland? How can you not hate this dude? Okay, I'm sorry, but Sean Strickland speaks like he comes into the octagon ready to die. He talks like he's ready to die. Then he goes in for 25 minutes, jab, teep, jab, teep. His performance against DDP was absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. His only good performance he's probably ever had was against Israel Adesanya and against Abu Magomedov, man, in the Apex. Those were his best performances, okay? His first DDP fight was way better than the second. I mean, obviously DDP was levels above, but Strickland just didn't do shit. Didn't do shit. He talks like, oh, we're going to spill blood. We're going to put out a war, but then he jabs and teeps for 25 minutes. 25 minutes. And look, you can say what you want on the mic, but Strickland's got the most controversial takes, man. The most controversial shit. He says the most out-of-pocket shit, and, like, people love him for it, but, clip this guy, man. Clip this guy. Like, he's just kind of crazy, bro. He's an American Psycho. Like, he's a little crazy. And honestly, I don't think he's probably one of the worst champions of all time. Probably the worst middleweight champion of all time. I mean, beat Izzy in a good decision, I guess, but lost to DDP by split. Lost to DDP twice. He beat Costa by split and then got another title shot. Like, it just, man. And then you got Dana White saying, oh, you're not going to see a more professional guy than Strickland. Keeps walking forward with the broken nose, but broken nose, but he didn't throw anything after that. He didn't do anything, okay? He's not that hated, I'll be honest. Strickland's not that hated, but he's decently up there on the hate list, especially after his past fight. I don't really see Strickland ever getting another title shot. I don't see Strickland getting another title shot. What am I saying? We need to feed Strickland to an up-and-comer. Give him, like, Caio Borralho. I know they train together. Don't give him Borralho. Give him Imavov. I mean, that's the number one contender. Give him, man, who can we feed him to? We need to feed Sean Strickland to somebody, or make him fight Whitaker. He doesn't even want to fight Whitaker. He just needs to fight down in the rankings. I don't want to see Sean Strickland ever in the title eliminator bout again. I don't want to see him ever compete for the title again. It's a disappointment, a disgrace to the middleweight belt. We don't want to see him fight, all right? And then the final dude that is absolutely and utterly hated has got to be Colby Covington. I mean, it's the Americans, man, back to back. No hate to Americans, but them two dudes in specific, Sean Strickland and Colby Covington, kind of give the same vibes. I know they hate each other, but still, Colby Covington just shows time and time again that he's just such an irritating fuck. You know what I mean? Like, his whole personality, his whole persona, I get it's a persona, but The way he plays it, the way he does things, especially this past year, ducking people left and right. He was ducking Ian Gary forever, was ducking all these, and then he just calls for like a title eliminator. He's like, oh, if I beat Buckley, I'm gonna get the title shot. Like, no, you're not, buddy. No, you're not. All right. I mean, you know, and the way he fights his shit as well. He got beat down by Buckley, got brutalized by Buckley, TKO doctor stoppage, and then Colby Covington has still got the balls to try to call out Paddy Pimblett this past weekend and calling him, oh, you're shit, you're beating bums, and like Colby Covington is like 2-6 in his last fights, I think, or 2-4 in his last 6. Ridiculous. Okay, Colby Covington, irrelevant. 36 or 37 years old. I think this dude should retire or feed him to a wolf, man, in welterweight. Feed him to an up and comer in welterweight. Like, give him Michael Morales or something after he beats Gilbert Burns. I need to see Colby Covington get beat again. He's another one of those dudes that's just hated by the MMA community by the way he acts. He used to be a decently fun fighter, but completely fell off, took a huge layoff, just talked shit for 2 years straight, didn't do anything, didn't back it up, ducked left and right, an absolute duck, man. That's a huge reason we hate people from the MMA community. We hate these UFC stars who just duck. Like, you're in MMA, you have to fight everybody. This is not boxing. This is MMA, right? So Colby Covington's in that mix, man, of hate. He's one of those hated dudes, but that's my entire list of most hated fighters, boys. If you did enjoy the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop your comments down below who I missed, who you guys hate and despise, because there's a lot of boys. There's a lot of guys that we hate in the UFC, girls as well, but I didn't want to mention too many WMMA fighters. I didn't want to mention any. I don't really have any off the top of my head that I hate, but if you guys didn't enjoy the video, hit the like button, and I will catch you boys in the next one. See you.